Your life after spiritual awakening is going to feel alone. You are going to feel alone. You're going to feel like nobody gets it. You're going to feel like nobody understands it. And you're going to feel alone. And this aloneness, walking the path of aloneness after spiritual awakening is very, very important. And this is actually for you. And it's important for you to know that just because you're alone, especially after spiritual awakening, doesn't mean that you're going to feel lonely. Now, you're only going to feel lonely if you have not integrated and done some next level work in order to be alone, yet not being lonely, because there's a difference. Now, being alone means that you are by yourself. And most of the times after spiritual awakening, maybe leaving religion and deconstructing, exiting the metrics, waking up to who you truly are, realizing the oneness of everything, your life literally shakes because you're no longer able to blend in with the people that you did before. Personally, for me, it did. It did because I come from a very religious background, a Christian home. And 80% of my friends are pastors, and I grew up in church. Like my closest friends, I mean my besties. What am I saying? 90%, because there's just one of my close friends who is not a pastor. And those who are not are still strongly in religion. And I love them so dearly and I hold them dearly into my heart. But after leaving, I had to be alone. And learning to navigate the aloneness, walking alone, is an art in itself that is either going to accelerate your spiritual growth and your spiritual awakening journey, or it's actually going to make you, when you are not able to hold it, to go back into your previous belief system, your previous way of living life, and your previous way of being, because it's comfortable, because it makes sense to the brain, and because it feels okay, because now you are in a community. Now, in order to understand this, you need to first of all understand that as human, we crave for community. We are communal beings. And evolutionary, the highest punishment that could be given to anybody when our ancestors were in the cave or lived in thousands of years ago was for them to be kicked out of the community, to be kicked out of the place where they felt like one. And because now they feel like they don't belong. And the need for belonging is one of the basic needs of humans. It's a basic need that when you want to feel like you belong in a place. You want to feel like you are part of something. You're part of a community. But the truth is that after spiritual awakening, you still have this need to belong, but then you have to be alone, because now the people that maybe you used to agree with, you no longer agree with. And the things that you used to believe and how you used to live life, it no longer makes sense. And you have a different way of thinking, believing, and seeing life. And now you're being called to live differently. And this call to live differently and this call to exist as a separate entity in a unique way will need you to be willing and to walk alone. And because that need is still there, because just because you're spiritually awakened doesn't mean those basic needs are taken away until you walk with them and you are embodied in your spiritual practices. You are still going to crave community. And I've seen myself at the early beginning of my spiritual journey, and many other spiritual people go back into the previous community because they feel like they are not understood, they are not seen, and they don't belong. How then do you walk alone, the aloneness path after spiritual awakening, so that you keep moving forward? Now, the very first thing is that you are going to learn to be connected with yourself and to be alone, but not lonely. Now, there's a difference between loneliness, right, and aloneness. Loneliness means that I feel disconnected from the inside, right? And because you're disconnected from the inside, you want to connect with something or some people. And when you are disconnected, most of the time we think that because we are lonely, we are alone. But you can be alone, but not lonely. So the way to walk the aloneness path is to learning to become not lonely, even though you're alone. So how do you become not lonely, even though you're alone? One, connect with your own self. One thing that spiritual awakening is going to do for you is that it's going to require you to heal the parts of yourself that are broken, to wake up to your true identity, and to accept and love yourself. And when you are able to accept and love yourself and wake up to your own self and embody your own truth, your own self, and live in alignment to who you truly are, you are going to feel less lonely. So how do you connect with your own self? Learn to hold the loneliness that you feel and ask yourself, why am I feeling this loneliness? What do I need right now? What is my soul asking me? And most of the time when you feel like, oh, I need to talk to somebody, I need to go see somebody, I need to do this, it's actually the mind wanting to look for an external thing to give you what you think you need. But most of the time, you actually need an internal thing. So in that moment where you actually feel the loneliness, connect to your own self, go into meditation, go do yoga, go on a walk, do something that actually connects you to your own self. Now, not something that gets you disconnected, like, okay, let me read a book. Because reading a book, it's actually using the mind. But we don't want you to use the mind in that moment. In that moment, use the heart. Be like, what can I do for myself with myself right now? And this could be stretching. This could be having a yoga practice. This could be doing some breath work. This could be doing a practice that literally allows you to embody yourself and walk with yourself. So if you desire to walk alone and not be lonely, it's important for you to master this art. Now, the second thing that you do is like learn to give yourself the things that you need, you think you need from others. Most of the times, why do we need community? We want to feel seen, we want to feel heard, and we want to feel understood. And we desire these things because you are literally not giving them to yourself. So before desiring to be seen, to be heard and understood, do you see your own self? Do you understand your own self? And do you love your own self? Because if you're so in love with yourself, your cup is going to be overflowing. And because your cup is overflowing, you're not going to need something on the outside of you to pour into your cup in order for your cup to be full. You are simply going to have a cup that is already full. And because your cup is already full, you are just simply going to need and have an overflow. And this means that even when you come to connect with people and you're in a community setting, you're not coming, oh, I'm coming because I need people to talk to so that I feel this. I need my friends so that I feel this. You're coming because I feel this. And because I feel this, I'm sharing with my friends. I'm sharing in community. I'm sharing with the people that love me. So when you fill your own cup and give yourself what you're looking for by literally learning to walk, be with yourself, love yourself, and meet your own need, it's going to be important. How do you practically do this? You practically do this, for example, if you feel like, okay, what I need right now is somebody to listen to me. Can you sit and listen to yourself? Maybe do a meditation and just listen to your own thought. Watch your own thought. Watch your own way of thinking. Watch the way you're talking to yourself subconsciously. Watch the way that you are relating with your own self. Because when you watch the way you are relating with your own self and you can literally process that, what is going to happen is that you're going to realize that when you come in the midst of people, you're not going to need someone to give you the attention. You're not going to need someone to do that for you. Even if someone is doing that for you, it's going to come from a place of desire and from a place of, I do this for myself. And because I do this, I don't need. So when you are able to lead yourself through the loneliness, and when you're connected to your own self and your own heart, it's going to become very easy for you to actually walk the aloneness path. So look for the things, look for ways to connect with your own self. If you're connected to yourself, you're not going to feel lonely. If you're not, you're going to feel lonely in those alone times. And look for ways to actually give yourself the things that you think that you need from other people. Is it love? In what way are you not loving yourself? Because the things we are seeking for and we think that we need from others is literally just the things we are not giving to ourselves. If you give it to yourself, you're not going to need it. And there's a difference between needing it and desiring it. Those are different frequencies. All right. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and share this with somebody who you think is feeling alone and are learning to walk alone on the spiritual path. Sending you so much love.